I want to thank everyone for joining us today at the National Training Workshop virtual sessions. And today we're going to have a presentation, Legacy Innovation Farming Economics Project, live project. And before I move to introduce the participants, the presenters, I want to just give you a few recommendations for today. Please mute your microphone so that way we can hear better our presenters, and rename your screen. If you have like a number or something on your screen, just put your first and last name. And if you haven't done so, if you need closed captioning, just go at the bottom of the screen and just click on the closed captioning button. And if you have any questions, please type them in the chat box, and I will be reading the questions at the end of the presentations to the presenters. We will be recording this session. It will be available on the National AgrAbility website at a later date. And at the end of the session, please click on the link in the chat box to complete the evaluation of this session. Thank you very much. And so today our presenters are John Jamerson, who's the founder and president of the LIFE project and project director. The LIFE project is a partnership of the People's Foundation, the Legacy Farming and Health Group, and the National AgrAbility Project, Purdue Extension. John has been building a sustainable farm structure, marketing and training modules in agriculture for socially disadvantaged farmers, youth, and communities. He has been providing technical assistance and strategic experience in creating the visionary outline, collaborating with individuals and organizations to create a sustainable business in agriculture. John developed Legacy Farming and Health Group to provide membership programs and networks of underserved farmers, youth, and businesses. The LIFE project introduces increased participation by connecting this target population with the resources provided by USDA programs, loans, grants, and scholarships. We also have today Tamika Peoples, who is a U.S. Air Force veteran and founder and executive director of the People's Foundation, which is a veteran nonprofit organization, where she leads the organization's community outreach work. She is a lifelong leader in the community service sector. She has over 20 years experience in corporate programs, development, and community program implementation. With her private government contact firm, Tamika has bridged her work within the firm into focused value-added apparel production connecting with agriculture and cotton production in the US and Africa. Tamika has over 25 years experience leading, setting up, and supporting multiple national level and international programs in her corporate and nonprofit role. She has been working to establish therapeutic golf programs for veterans in partnership with USPGA and STEAM youth programs with national partners, Make School and Truth Good Marshall College Scholarship Fund. Not to mention her work establishing an international level partnership with African agriculture COOPs. Her work in agriculture outreach in support to the LIFE project, among the many other programs, support veterans, youth, and socially disadvantaged farmers and ranchers, obtaining the tools and resources they need to get started and grow scale their farm operations. So we also have today Ed Sheldon, who serves as the outreach coordinator for the National AgrAbility Project. Ed is responsible for outreach activities and resource and publication development, promoting AgrAbility services to cooperative extension service staff, and supporting the programming efforts of the underserved populations outreach and veteran outreach coordinators. It also manages calls and inquiries to AgrAbility toll-free helpline from customers throughout the United States and beyond. Chuck Baldwin. He has spent the majority of the 32 years in cross-cultural work, primarily in Western and Central Africa. His responsibilities involve public speaking, fundraising, teaching, leadership development, mentoring of leaders, and fostering relationships across a wide range of national and ethnic lines. For 16 of those years, he was an organization's regional director over 12 countries. For the past 7 years, Chuck has been served as a National AgrAbility Project Underserved Populations Outreach Coordinator and has also spent 2 years as the Indiana AgrAbility Project Manager. As Underserved Populations Outreach Coordinator, Chuck is responsible for identifying and maintaining contacts with underserved populations in agriculture and with organizations that assist them. Such populations include African American, Native American, Hispanic, Latino, and Amish, or the Anabaptist agricultural workers. Chuck represents AgrAbility at events geared toward these populations and encourage participation by underserved populations in AgrAbility events. So now we're gonna turn over to John.
Hello, everyone. Give me just a second, and I will put in my presentation. Hold on, just I think I did that backwards. Gotta hit share first. There we go. All right. Hello, everyone. I'm John Jamerson with the Legacy Taste of the Garden. I am the project manager or project director for the Life Project, which is a part of the Legacy Farming and Health Group. Just want to let everybody know that it has been a pleasure to be a part of the Life Project. The Life Project stands for Legacy, which it goes back to who we are, to let us know that legacy is not just about where we come from, but it's also about what we will become. We all will be leaving a legacy. And so that's one of the things that we try to promote, innovation. We try to make sure that we are on the cutting edge of what's going on. Farming, which is our main source and direction that we are pointing in. And then also economics, because we want to make sure that we're able to have a sustainable organization. Let me tell you about the Legacy Farming and Health Group. It was formed in 2017. It was a network to support our farmers and communities. We had at the time, when we started in 2017, members in about 35 states. And we also do a Zoom meeting every first and third Thursday of each month. And our purpose of it is to assist socially disadvantaged farmers and veteran farmers, and also to help them to gain access to resources such as the programs, the loans, the grants, and scholarships that are provided through the USDA. It started with a small group of our farm, which was Legacy Taste of the Garden. And we are located in Southern Indiana. Our purpose was to create, maintain, and pass down the legacy of agriculture that we're in. The community that we're in, Laos Station, Indiana, is the last remaining African-American settlement in Indiana. And it's featured in the Smithsonian African American Museum. We've been awarded a few grants, such as the SARE grant. In 2019, we were also made a grant with the 2501, which is the LIFE project. We're part of the Purdue Extension Master Gardeners program. We're also Junior Master Garden Instruction. We're into trauma nutrition or nutritional trauma, and part of the Indiana Black Farmers Association and Indiana Grown associations here. And so it was through us going to the National Black Farmers Association that we met Chuck Baldwin. We were on the same plane, got off, and it was late at night, and we were looking for a way to get to the hotel. And little did I know, and probably little did he know, that we were all going to the same spot. And so we ended up discussing, sharing ride and everything else, and talked and began to build that friendship. And, you know, it's amazing how just a little friendly conversation while you're waiting on a ride can build into something spectacular. And that's what I believe that we got here. This is just to show some of the things that we do, some of the markets and some of the youth groups and stuff that we work with. Part of our group also is Tamika Peoples with the Peoples Foundation. She has been a part of the Legacy Farming and Health group since it started. And so she's been a very inspirational and also important, pivotal lead in our organization, helping us stay on point with the finances and things and stuff that she does. She works with a lot of the veterans. And so anytime we need any expertise with veterans and things of that nature, she's our go-to person on that as well as many other things. And I'll let her go into a little bit more detail on the things that she does. With AgrAbility, we have Chuck and Ed, who are our main points of contact with them. It's been a great opportunity just being with them and sharing a few things with them. Is from the beginning, we had an opportunity to get together and with Ed, met in Indianapolis and sat down, and I discussed the ideals and stuff that we had, and they agreed to come together through the connection that we had with Chuck from beginning. We asked him, told him about the project, and he said that was something that they were interested in, and we moved forward from there. Part of our objectives, as we said, for the LIFE project is for the socially disadvantaged and veteran farmers, to increase the number of socially disadvantaged farmers for new farmers, youth, urban and veteran farmers, to introduce access to the USDA programs, grants, and scholarships, to increase their participation in those programs. Some of the things that we do also is outreach with the new veteran farmers, urban farmers, disabled farmers, and ag-related businesses. Some of the trainings that we provide is with the Hoop House, with scholarships. We have training that the People's Foundation have AgrAbility training with aquaponics also, and value added. We have done workshops with the USDA and with the 1890 school. And also, my thing moved ahead on me. On 4-H and farmers markets. We have our conferences, and these are some of the things that we do on an annual basis. Is our LIFE conference, conference with the National Black Farmers Association, conferences with the AgrAbility and the Natural Resource Conservation Services. We partner with the USDA, National Black Farmers Association, and 1890 schools, and farming businesses. Here's a list of the other farmers and groups that are part of our LIFE project, which is Chef Joseph, Pangea Farms. We also have Little Red Hen and Master Grow Game. We found out that by working together, we were able to attend a lot of things. Unfortunately, last year we weren't able to do too much until late in the year, and we had an opportunity to have a good time in Virginia at the National Black Farmers Association, which was a great relief. You know, being locked up the whole time and just talking on Zoom, it was good to be able to get out and to get together. And so we have some good memories that we still joke and laugh about. But, you know, in this situation, I just want you guys to understand and know that when we open up to one another, the possibilities are endless. It's easy to go and look at somebody and turn away, but when you've never considered the things that can happen, like when you put peanut butter and jelly together, it is something that you know, can be miraculous. And so it's been a pleasure working with AgrAbility. I definitely look forward to continuing working with them. I just want to emphasize that you never know what you will get until you start putting things together and start connecting with other groups. And so I am pleased to have been with these guys, looking forward to future endeavors that we do. And the sky's the limits for us. Here's some of the things that we've done in the past, the Roots and Soil program. We just did a African-American farmers webinar on stress issues. We've done things with North Carolina A&T, a virtual workshop, and we're in the process of putting together a conference with FAMU. And so with that being said, that's the end of my slides and everything. And just want to thank everybody for being here. I really want to and hope that you guys can see the uniqueness of what we do. And as you hear from everyone else, the other partners on the team, you can begin to understand how it's a complement to each other, as more so than it is things that go against each other. And so with that being said, I'm gonna pass it over to Tamika and introduce her, Tamika Peoples with Peoples Foundation.
Me and this Zoom mute. Thank you so much, John. Thank you. It was a great presentation. As you mentioned, I'm Tamika Peoples, the founder of Peoples Foundation. And it's, again, a pleasure to be here with you all today. I'm going to go ahead and bring up my presentation and talk a little bit more about the LIFE Project and the collaborative work we do and the work we do here at Peoples Foundation to kind of maintain and work through the partnership and continue our outreach and growth. One moment here. You guys see my screen? So it's coming through. Is the screen coming through now? Just a quick confirm for me, John, can you guys see my screen, my presentation?
We can see it.
Okay, great. I'm sorry, it was taking a little bit to come up on my end, so I just wanted to make sure. As John mentioned, you know, in 2019, when he envisioned us all partnering together, it was really an opportunity to continue to extend the work that we were all doing in our respective spaces. It was really about the collaboration, the vision of executing under Legacy Farming and Health Group and essentially the LIFE Project that all brought us together to work on this project back in 2019. We do this outreach work under the USDA 2501 program, which allows us to support reaching out to farmers who are considered socially disadvantaged and have a need to tap into resources that reside within USDA and other partner programs to extend the work that they're doing on their farm. We successfully do that mission through the partner relationship in our networks of over 40 states that we do outreach in, between Legacy Farming and Health Group, the National AgrAbility Project, and the work that People's Foundation does. We are able to really reach across all 50 states and do this work because of course, now the virtual environment that we do it under. Our significant goal is really to, as John mentioned, is to reach socially disadvantaged farmers with youth programs, resources into the USDA to have them help them understand what's available to them, to increase their technology and training on the farm, and just to tap into the many resources that each organization has to support what they're doing on their land. We do that through our monthly training, our seminars that's been referenced, and of course our virtual outreach that we do in our workshops for each organization. We do have a website where you can reach most of our programs and offerings. It's thelifeproject.com. But I would be remiss to mention the work that we're doing without really tapping into the extended partners that we have doing this work. It's all about the grassroots organizations that are in our communities, reaching and touching the farmers. John already mentioned the work that he does under Legacy Taste of the Garden, but we also have Pangea Farms, who is in Georgia and supports work with aquaponics training and resources that he trains farmers in. We have a partner that's in Virginia, Daryl Chef Joseph, under the value added programs and resources that he teaches under, which is he teaches people how to bring recipes from ideation into an actual final value added product. We also have a partner in more Southern California, a Little Red Hen Farm, which teaches regenerative farming training and small farm techniques. It's through our collaborative partnerships with our outreach organizations and of course, National AgrAbility Project and the work that Legacy Taste of the Garden does, and the workshops that People's Foundation, we teach farmers how to get into and tap into value added resources within USDA, the agricultural marketing service that's offered, and how to sell the agricultural products back to the government and be more direct to consumer with their agricultural offerings. So it's throughout each one of our workshops and the things that we do virtually and nationally, of course, the seminars that we've spoke about, that allows us to really reach our farmers where they're at, which is the ultimate goal of the project and the team. Some of the things that we look to make sure these People's Foundation supports to provide is that coordinated effort between all of the organizations. We actively work to make sure that the work that we're doing is elevated and reported back to our USDA teammates and counterparts. We help schedule and coordinate our online opportunities and our workshops that are set up to be had throughout our partnerships. We meet monthly and sometimes even weekly, right, team, to help schedule these workshops and offerings that we will have with to our farmers. We do virtual seminars and series with our land grant institutions that allow us to even extend that reach further. So it's really about, the ultimate thing for this project is about the collaboration. Collaborating with different groups and organizations allows you to reach more farmers where they're at, and get them resources that maybe they didn't know existed. So it's the collaboration that we really lean on in order to execute this project across all 50 states. Best way to reach our team and our information on the LIFE project is our website. Of course, each partner has their own website, but we do have a project website where organizations can reach out to us in order to offer workshops and be a part of our speaker series, and for farmers to tap into our resources and workshops that we do offer throughout all of our partner organizations. Again, the ultimate opportunity for us is to make sure that each farmer is getting what they need. And most times you can do that through your organization, but you can do it better through collaboration and partnership. So it's been a true honor working with the National AgrAbility Project, as well as Legacy Taste of the Garden. I think together we're going to continue to do amazing things in support of our farmers. With that, I'll turn it over to Chuck and Ed to talk a bit more about the National AgrAbility Project and our work together. Thank you.
Great, thank you, Tameka. I will go ahead and try to share my screen now. Come on. And there we go. I think that looks right. Okay, I'm going to shift gears a little bit and maybe talk more directly toward the AgrAbility staff, state and regional staff that might be in attendance today. Not exclusively, but really Chuck and I are going to, I guess what we want to do is promote the idea, the concept of what we're trying to do here with the LIFE project, and encourage other states, other AgrAbility projects to pursue these type of programs to help your own efforts, your own programming efforts, and expand your reach among your clientele. John and Tamika have done a very good job of talking about what we are, the model, if you will, where we take three very diverse organizations, a nonprofit foundation, grassroots, farm level, educational operator organization, and AgrAbility in the 1862 institution, land grant institution connection with AgrAbility and the USDA. We all have, each group has its own separate mission, our own objectives, our own audience, or a specific audience, but there's overlap, and that's where I think is one of the unique aspects of this project, is that how we're able to take those unique missions, blend them together into its own entity, the LIFE project. And we're what, a year and a half, almost 2 years into this, and it's been amazing to see how it's, how the project has progressed. Take you back just a little bit. John and Tamika mentioned this is part of a USDA 2501 grant program. And that program has been around 30 years or better, distributed millions of dollars to organizations all throughout the country with the specific purpose of assisting socially disadvantaged farmers, and then farmers and ranchers, and then more recently, veterans have been involved, or veteran audiences have been included in the last 8 or 10 years or so as well, within the 2501 grant program. Again, dozens and dozens of projects throughout the country. We just happen to, the LIFE project just happens to be one of those. Obviously, it's a USDA initiative. Now, where I'm going with this, looking at specifically on the 2501, those who are eligible to apply, and there's a wide range of organizations that are able to, community-based organizations. I would call People's Foundation and Legacy Farming and Health Group, both are community-based organizations or networks or coalitions. Land grant institutions, obviously that's, most of us are associated, most of us AgrAbility folks are associated with land grant institutions, and then a variety of other organizations or universities that serve socially disadvantaged audiences. Why I bring that up in reference to AgrAbility projects, one thing Chuck and I kind of want to emphasize is, does AgrAbility always need to be the leader, the lead collaborator in a project like this? And I think Chuck and I would both very adamantly say no. We're very, very comfortable and very happy to be in a support role in this program with People's Foundation and Legacy Farming and Health Group taking the lead. What can we do to help them? And that's how we've tried to approach this project from the beginning. Tamika and John both mentioned a little bit about the origins of this project and how it came together. It was and that's a story for another day when we can tell about a week-long period in a couple summers ago when this thing went from an idea to a draft to a final product and sent in, and a few weeks later we found out we were successful. But that was an interesting time, working in 3 different time zones and people that nobody was really familiar with each other, but we sure learned a lot and have moved on from that. One thing I want to, again, we don't always have to be the lead. I'm talking to the AgrAbility folks. We don't always have to be the lead. And one thing I noticed, in the request for applications for the 2501 grant, I may have changed since then, but I doubt it. This is a quote directly out of there. Organizations must have just demonstrated expertise in working with underserved, socially disadvantaged and/or veteran farmer communities, which AgrAbility projects do. There's no doubt about it. And priority will be given to non-governmental community-based organizations serving these communities. That really doesn't apply to us, although our 2 partners, it definitely does. And I would recommend, if you as an organization are looking, a lot of these programs are established and retain year after year, and there's an opportunity to apply every year, every other year, or whatever, depends on how the program's set up. Look through those. Get on Google USDA or whichever program or whichever agency you're working through or applying to. Find out who's won those previous awards. In the case of the 2501 grants, I honestly think we could have applied could have sent the exact same proposal in with Purdue or National AgrAbility Project as the lead, and I don't think we'd be sitting here today. Very few 1862 institutions have been successful in that. So just take advantage of that. Look at those opportunities, and perhaps it isn't the lead seat isn't the spot to be in sometimes. Okay, and we're talking about the 2501. We're a 2501 project. There are plenty of other opportunities. Just looking at USDA, and this is far from a exhaustive list, and obviously there are other places to receive grant funding from, but just some of the USDA programs that we're familiar with, in addition to 2501, beginning farmer and rancher development programs, AgVet programs, SARE grants, all would benefit from a partnership like this. Obviously, our state and regional AgrAbility projects were required to have a nonprofit partner. So plenty of opportunities. Biggest point we're trying to make is the partnerships pays some dividends. And I'm going to pass it over to Chuck, and he's going to talk about some of those particular benefits.
Thank you, Ed. This has been just a really great partnership to work in. I am going to try to share my screen as well at this point. Hopefully everybody can see that. I get a head nod. All right, we're up and going. In the right-hand corner of that slide, you see 2 separate words in the title. Each one of those words has its own value. Combined, they have a different value, but still a value together. Every legitimate organization has potential, and every organization that's worth its salt will produce fruit. When organizations that have potential and fruit start networking together, the potential fruit increases exponentially. Let's consider the potential benefits of partnering with nonprofit and/or grassroots organizations with the SRAP in a subordinate role, as the National AgrAbility Project is currently as part of the LIFE project. Well, we'll start with the foundational advantages of building collaborations. An AgrAbility project at an 1862 or at an 1890 and a nonprofit working with whatever group the RFA is targeting goes together beautifully. In our case, with the 2501 project, the AgrAbility project doesn't have to figure out where many of the socially disadvantaged ag workers are. And the nonprofit, they gain a fair amount of clout by partnering with a university led by qualified staff. Both benefit from an increased network of staff and clients. And the quality of work tends to increase while the costs for staff either remains the same or perhaps decreases for the number of people being served. Another benefit is that it strengthens existing programs. The obvious benefit of partnering on a grant is that it provides increased funding for staff and or program outreach. Now listen, AgrAbility staff, because we're all working with an 1862 or 1890 land grant university, we're used to being pushed by our schools and organizations to take the leads on those grants. But as Ed was just saying, the reality is there are many grants out there that AgrAbility is not qualified to apply for the lead on. As in 2019, the 2501 grant, it appeared to us that there weren't going to be many 1862s that were chosen as the lead. However, SRAPs are highly qualified to participate as a partner on many of those grants. And without some of the headaches that come with being the lead on the grant, we still benefit. We reap multiple benefits from having the funds that come from it and from working with partners that multiply our outreach. This is a win-win situation for a lot of reasons, one of them being that the USDA NIFA has been encouraging AgrAbility projects now for a number of years to move towards sustainability apart from NIFA funding. And this is one way of leveraging funds so that, so that we can help do that. Secondly, it improves our image to partner with other groups as we're doing in the LIFE project. It improves our image both in the eyes of the US government as we work with our partners and in the eyes of our potential clients who need to see us being inclusive in our outreach. And when we improve our image, we improve our chances of being funded again in the next grant cycle. It helps to generate new ideas when we join in partnerships like this. It gives new life to ongoing programs. You all know this. You have a new person join the group and they come in with new enthusiasm and new ideas, and it helps to move things forward. It increases AgrAbility's exposure to new audiences that we might not otherwise reach. And as a result, we expand our client base. We reach a whole new audience. We have the many clients, the staff, the volunteers, and the networks of the partner organizations. In addition, it multiplies our impact way beyond what we could ever do as a solitary organization. Now, the challenge that we faced when we put this together was that according to the 2017 Census of Agriculture, there are 46,000 Black farmers in the US and another 370,619 agricultural producers who served or are serving currently in the US military. That's over 416,000 farmers just in those two groups that would be qualified for services under the 2501 grants. The problem is that many of them lack the knowledge or the training or perhaps the resources to expand to become more economically viable in their agricultural endeavors. There is evidence that socially disadvantaged farmers are beginning to use a few of the USDA's programs, but many of them remain unaware of the programs that are available, or perhaps they're uncomfortable with pursuing them due to past negative experiences. So many of these individuals have yet to benefit from USDA-based educational or technical support services like those provided by Cooperative Extension Service, the NRCS, and AgrAbility. So what's the solution? Well, for us, the solution is the partnership. Partnership with a lead organization like Legacy Farming and Health Group that has had success in the past, applying for grants that meet the same type of challenges that we're looking at. It's finding a partner like People's Foundation, a certified 501c3 nonprofit that has qualified personnel with experience in meeting the needs of the new clients that we're hoping to serve. Forming partnerships like these grow us from a base of serving maybe clients in 20 states or up to 27 with our affiliates to over 35 states that are covered by the 3 partners in this LIFE project. I want to stop sharing my screen now so that you can kind of see the 4 of us here as a panel, and we each want to take just a couple of minutes to share what we have seen already in the year and a half that we've been an organization as the highlights of what we've done. I'll go first since I've already got the mic. I immediately saw that there was an increase in our accessibility to socially disadvantaged audiences as a result of the wide networks that our partners had. And one of the places that I saw that, I work with the stipends that we give for the National Training Workshop to farmers and ranchers impacted by disability. And the number of socially disadvantaged farmers and veterans who were encouraged and enabled to attend the 2020 NTW increased dramatically as a result of this partnership. Unfortunately, we weren't able to meet those people face to face when we had to go virtual due to COVID, but we could see the results of the partnership taking place, and we hope to meet those people who are, some of them, still hanging on to their reservations and to the stipends with us for the next face-to-face National Training Workshop. There was an increase in the areas of expertise that we had to share as the AgrAbility Project. Through our partners, we have been able to offer information and training programs on such things as farm succession planning. John mentioned that in his introduction here. We did that during a 3-webinar series last summer. Entrepreneurship training and seed to store training. Tamika and John helped us do that in the collaborative effort we had with North Carolina A&T last year. High tunnel construction, value added training, the list just goes on and on. Things that we weren't able to do regularly as a National AgrAbility Project, but whom our 2 partners, they have been involved in it on a regular basis and are able to offer that then to our clients as well. Some of you know this, probably many of you do not, but the National AgrAbility Project has set 2 new records for attendance at webinars in this past year. And both of the webinars that set those attendance records were webinars that were not led by the NAP, but by our partners in the LIFE project, John Jamerson taking the lead. We had 255 people actually attend the first session of the Roots of the Soil webinar. It was a series on succession planning. And we had 149 people attend last week's National AgrAbility Project Farsan webinar on the particular stresses of African American farmers. And we are truly grateful for that kind of exposure that our partners bring to us in this collaboration. That doesn't even begin to count the personal benefits of simply working and growing together with friends like John Jamerson and Tamika People. We have been learning to break down racial and ethnic boundaries for the sake of a unified cause. We're improving our cross-cultural communications, hopefully, and we're gaining new friendships that I believe will continue long after this project is over. Now, that's just a few of the things. Ed, what do you see as some of the highlights of this partnership we share with the LIFE Project?
Oh, I hope I can make this analogy work, but in a previous life, I spent a lot of years in my own business as a landscape contractor, and we do jobs, and in truth, what we did then is not a whole lot different than what we're doing here. We put together a proposal. This is what we're going to do. Take it to the customer, and they'll either hire you or not, and you go ahead and do that job and you meet your objectives. Once in a great while, you'd run into one of those jobs or that you always go in and try to accomplish, and we have our objectives for the LIFE project and our deliverables, and we're going to deliver those. But once in a while you run into something that grows upon itself. I guess I don't know whether the word's organically or whatever, but more and more opportunities just naturally arise from that partnership. I believe John mentioned we're And Chuck mentioned, definitely just talked about the roots of soil webinars. That was really one of our early efforts out of the gate with the project. Not long after that first program, we started getting calls from around the country, folks that are saying, we like what you're doing. How can we help? We want to be involved. That's opened some doors for us, led almost directly to a lot of the organization, a lot of the programming we used in our North Carolina workshop. Very definitely, we have a workshop planned for Florida A&M later this summer, late this summer. Very definitely came from just the relationships, the contacts we made as a life project through putting together the program. And so I just think that's amazing. You know, it's going well beyond what our original objectives might have been, and we hope to, you know, let's see where the ride goes. I think it's going to be interesting, and as we continue the project, I think it's going to be great. So, how about you, Jamaica?
Here I go with that mute again. Thank you so much, Ed, for asking about that. You know, I guess I want to echo what you're saying here, is that we've been able to reach a lot of people and farmers with real needs. When I met John, it was certainly in a different approach, but I was looking for farmers. I was looking for cotton farmers. I was looking for cotton farmers who were Black and growing some stuff I could use for an apparel line. And when I heard about his vision within Legacy Farming and Health Group, and you know where he envisioned the impact could be, you know, I said, how do we help? How do I help? Because I'm one person, but I'm sure with what you're proposing here, John, we can reach millions. And if I can just kind of go by the numbers, right? Since we've started this program, we've been able to reach 3,680 socially disadvantaged veteran farmers and ranchers, whether they were new and beginning, whether they already had. It was just the fact that we were collaborating and thinking about different ways to reach each other where we were at. I can't say enough about the partnership. I've certainly, even in some of the one-on-ones and the workshops and post-workshop feedbacks, is, hey, I didn't know some of these resources existed, and wow, who is the National AgrAbility Project? We need some help with what they can provide on our farm. Can you point me in the right direction? So it's just really spoken volumes to the amount of impact we can have and the type of farmers we can reach. And services and resources that we know we want to extend can now be extended. So I can't say enough about the partnership, the collaboration between our interior partners, and the tools and resources that we all bring to bear. And I can't wait to see where else this can go. And I'm also very thankful for our institutional partners, our 1890s, FAMU, University of North Carolina A&T, Purdue. Most of the institutional collaborators have been leaning in to the work that we're doing and wanting to cross collaborate and see how we can further grow this reach and grow new farmers and impact positively the farmers we intend to reach with our services. So I can't say enough. I know the sky's the limit, and well beyond when the program, quote unquote, ends, I know we'll continue to do this work together. So that's the good thing. John, your thoughts?
Well, it's man, it's mind-boggling. It's tear-jerking and heart-wrenching just to sit back and think about where we've come from. I mean, from the moment of 4 or 5 years ago, just sitting down and trying to think out of how do we do anything, going from zero to where we are today. As you guys can see, I'm not an orator so much. I'm more of a visualist, and so if you sit down and take a moment to walk with me, I can paint a perfect picture with words. But and that's what happened when I got with Ed. He sat down, he listened to everything that I wanted to say. He was able to articulate that and put that into the grant that we put together. is, you know, I'm a people person, so it's how I connected with Tamika and with Chuck and all the others that really began to put these things together. You know, I'm sitting here and I'm listening to them for the first time talk about their thoughts and stuff of it. And, you know, kind of reminded me of the first time I saw the We Are the World video and everything. And it's like, man, you know, just think of what we could do if we all really just worked together and began to do some things. And so the possibilities are out there. And, you know, my thing is the work has to be done. And if not you, then who? And so I always try to help where I can. I always try to keep everyone in mind in all the things that I'm doing. And Tamika, Chuck, Ed, Paul, Betty, there's so many of them that I can list, you know, FAMU, NRCS, you know, North Carolina, you know, I don't want to leave anybody out. But the thing is that by us taking this opportunity to work together, I do see a tremendous impact. It's in its infancy stage, but you can see the potential that is there. And I believe that if we nurse this a little bit more, we get a little bit more of a community support. I think that we will all be amazed at the impact that we can have. And so, you know, if nothing else, I'm pleased to have met and worked with these group of individuals, with all of them that are on our team, those that are extended, you know, Dr. Parker and all the rest of them. I mean, there's so many things that we've done within these past year and a half that if we listed them all, it would be kind of amazing. So I'd like to take a couple seconds and share a little video that we made, and then we'll open up for questions. But I just want you guys to be inspired to the possibilities that are out there. I'm trying to find my video that's on here. But I don't see it. So let me close out everything out and then I'll try it again. If not, well, that wasn't it. Somehow I must have shut it down. But anyhow, we'll see if I can pull it up real quick. And if I can, then we'll work with it. And if not, then we'll move forward.
Well, I guess in the meantime, we can invite participants to type your questions on the chat box. And yeah, if you have any questions or comments.
Did I disappear? Okay. We'll go ahead and open up for questions if there's any questions for right now.
Okay, we have a question in the chat box. What is an example of a farm or client you have worked with to improve the situation of a disadvantaged person?
Oh, man. Well, I can offer a couple. Yeah, so I worked with a group of farmers in Georgia that were looking to establish their first of I guess, over 15 acres of farmland that they were looking to support with a industrial hemp farm with a training center on this farm. I flew out to Georgia. At first, of course, I had an initial kind of conference with them. I was coming back from a particular conference, so in that route, I flew in and met their team and talked to them about their needs on that location, and then the different plans and policies that they should be looking into with respect to industrial hemp laws and policies in Georgia, as well as potential grants they could use under the Rural Development Agency in order to get their training facility, community facility essentially built. So 6 months later, I heard from them and they ended up doing a opening with respect to the facility. They were able to get the grant and then begin to do the work with respect to the conservation practices on their farm. And they were in the process of applying for a direct rural development loan. So with the tools and resources that I was able to provide to them with respect to what to tap into for USDA, and then what to kind of basically understand about just putting their business plan together. They were successful in their initial grand opening. It took some time. It was really one of the first group of farmers that I met with as we started this project in 2019, and they did their opening in 2020. I have several more, but I don't want to take the spotlight away from, I know, John, you work a lot with farmers in the Midwest, and you probably have several stories, but that was just an example of one. It was a family farm, African-American family farm in Georgia.
Can you guys hear me? One of the groups that I was able to work with was a church youth group that we were introducing agriculture to, introduced 4-H and Junior Master Gardeners program. In that group, we had through the 4-H, we had a county champion from them learning how to grow produce. We also had an individual where we were teaching them value-added process, where she began to do a demonstration at a event that we had at the end of it. And as she was doing her demonstration, she had showed how she had made a hair product out of okra. And the people in the audience asked her if she would apply that to their hair, and they tried it. And she ended up with individuals wanting to buy her product from her. And, they were like, how much would you charge for this? And she's thinking of, oh, well, it was only a couple things of okra and this, that, and the other, $5. She had a quart jar. And the woman said, no, I bought something half this size and I paid over $30 for it. And the young lady and her mother looked at each other, and that was a situation there. That was just with those who were new into agriculture, that she began to see that agriculture, one, was more than just picking fruit, but that you can also have a opportunity at value added. We've also had several in Evansville, Indianapolis, Gary, and Fort Wayne who have entered into the urban ag programs and have applied, and some of them have received the hoop houses, and others are applying for them at this time. We've had several groups who have also made contact with different organizations that they've been working with down in Texas and also in Georgia, who have worked with different USDA programs and been able to be successful with them. So being a part of this and having access to the knowledge and the things that are out there that we didn't know much about at the time, the different programs that they all had with the USDA has been beneficial. And then with the American Rescue Plan, being able to help quite a few farmers and stuff, be able to have a better understanding of what that's all about. We've had people from Senator Cory Booker's office on our webinars, and a few other influential individuals in the USDA who have come on and shared so that they would have better knowledge. Chuck?
Actually, we are at the end of our time, and I know Betty still has a couple of things to take care of. So, we may answer a few more questions if there are any afterwards, but Betty, why don't you go ahead and take it?
Yeah, we don't have any other questions, so let me just do my closing remarks here. Hold on just a moment. I'm not able to share my screen, but hold on a minute just for the closing remarks. So next week, we're going to have a session on programmatic factors that lead to changes in quality of life and independent living and working levels with AgrAbility clients, and a 25-year overview of AgrAbility demographics. Also, we're going to have a link for our evaluation on the chat box. So please just click on the link to give us your feedback on the evaluation. If you have any questions, just contact us at tmckeel@goodwillfingerslakes.org. Thank you very much for being here today.
Thank you so much for having us.
Thank you, everybody.
Great presentation.
Thanks, everybody.
Thank you.
Very encouraging. Thank you.